I don't like to make opinion-based videos when it's just saying the same thing. I would rather say something different, look at something from a different angle. That's what I usually find myself doing. And so I thought maybe it would be wise to make an occasional video that is from a different angle. That was all over the news. It was all over, what you might call right-wing media and left-wing media. Everybody loved to talk about this story. It's just the kind of thing that people love to talk about. Joy Behar on The View said that she was going to wear a mask indefinitely, or she said, I might do it indefinitely. And that was the story. So, people talking about it, Joy Behar says she's going to wear a mask indefinitely. And then, certain shows, they could say, isn't that ridiculous? She's paranoid. Well, let her do it. And there was a lot of people in the social media world, a lot of these COVID realists, I call them, a lot of my COVID crowd, the people who have a realistic, lucid view of all the COVID nonsense that's going on. And they were all saying, all the power to you, keep your mask on, whatever, all this stuff. Go ahead, wear a mask, we don't care, we don't want to see your face anyway. This kind of making fun of her in that way. And then you had other people taking her views seriously and saying like, are you like her? Are you going to wear a mask forever? That was the discussion. The headline was Joy Behar says she's going to wear a mask indefinitely. And that was the discussion. And I said to myself, okay, I got to go back and look at the actual source material. I want to see this thing in context, because whenever you see the thing in context, it means, whether you agree or disagree with it, it means something quite different than the framing that they give them on these shows, because they frame a story on a show in a way that they think is going to spur interesting discussion or illuminate a point that they want to make, not that the person who was making. So I said, let's go back and look at the video. So I looked at the video, and it's quite amazing that she did make news in that clip. She did say something that's worth discussing. And also, the funny thing is, she said something, especially that the people in the right-wing media would love to be discussing. It's a perfect point for them to be discussing. They ignored essentially the lead of the story. So I'm going to show you the tape, and it's just an edited clip, but it's where she says that she might wear a mask indefinitely. Look at the whole clip, and then when we come back, tell me if you see what I see, which is that almost everybody missed the point of, or they missed the headline. They missed the meat of the story. They missed the interesting part. Here it is.
Personally, I listen to the little voice in my head that doesn't really follow 100% what they tell me, because they keep changing it.
Yep.
Right. So, like, very short time ago, they were saying put the N95 masks on, and now they make sure it's on. And now they're saying you don't have to wear them anymore.
Yeah.
So if I go on the subway, if I go in a bus, if I go into the theater, if I go into, where else would I go?
A crowded spot.
A crowded place, I would wear a mask. And I might do that indefinitely. Because why do I need a flu or a cold even?
Right.
That's true. And so I'm listening to myself right now.
Okay. I gave you a little time to think about it there. So, do you agree that they missed the interesting part of that story? Or the thing that is headline worthy about that story? Or the thing that is worth discussing about that little Joy Behar on The View comment? I'm assuming you've figured it out at this point. Now, I think you would think most people didn't see it because they didn't see the clip, or they didn't see the thing in context like that. I guess that's an excuse, but the people who produced these segments and produced the media, the New York Post, the Daily News, the various shows that talked about this, they all saw the tape, they saw the original thing, and these pundits, this is especially in the kind of right-wing world, the people who like to make fun of Joy Behar, they missed it. Okay. I'm sure you figured it out at this point. Joy Behar, The interesting thing that she said was that she doesn't believe the CDC. She no longer believes the CDC. Now that's a headline. Co-host of The View no longer believes the science or the scientists. No longer trusts the CDC. That is a huge headline. Why didn't Fox News, every show discussing, can you believe Joy Behar is going to wear a mask? Why didn't they have a segment, a panel discussion about the fact that Joy Behar, who has for the past 2 years trusted everything that Anthony Fauci and the CDC says, now she says, I'm going to listen to myself. She said it a few times. Now I'm going by my own. I'm going to only trust myself. She doesn't trust the CDC. That's a great story. New York Daily News didn't cover it that way. New York Daily News says Joy, and then New York Daily News left wing, right wing New York Post says Joy Behar is going to wear a mask forever. Can you believe it? Do you agree with her? There's no story there. Who cares? A lot of people are going to continue wearing their masks because they're mentally ill, right? But that's not a story. We know that. The interesting thing is, a host of a network show that has been trumpeting for 2 years that you have to listen to the CDC, follow the recommendations, follow the science, do what you're told, get in line. She doesn't believe anymore. She's essentially an anti-vaxxer. She's anti-science. Now, most people don't trust these idiots anymore. Half the country never trusted them, but they said, you must trust these people. Joy Behar, the person who said she was going to live and die trusting the CDC, doesn't trust them anymore. That's an interesting story, isn't it? I just think it's funny that people have endless discussions all day. I mean, people have been arguing about COVID for a couple of years, and then a very mainstream person says something on TV, and everybody ignores it. And they focus on the completely irrelevant thing she said. It's quite shocking. And like I said, I didn't see one person discussing this. I didn't see one headline that said, Joy Behar no longer trusts the CDC. And I'm talking about the people that I follow on the Twitter feed or on Rumble or whatever. These are people that I love keeping up with their daily debunking of all the health information and everything like that. And these are people who are constantly talking about how the CDC should not be trusted. And then they post this headline saying, Joy Behar is going to wear her mask forever. Again, they missed the whole point. Anyway, kind of interesting.